Hey everyone, my name's John and I'm one of the health coaches here at the Resource Center, and I'm here to talk to you guys about Deskersizing. Deskersize 2020. Don't let your chair hold you down. So, I apologize, I have to do some clicking, so I'm going to be sitting over here for part of it. Now, why are we here talking about Deskersizing? Why is this important? Whether it's time spent working in the office, at home, at school, driving, eating, watching TV, the impacts of a sedentary lifestyle, often referred to as the sitting disease, may be one of the most unanticipated health impacts of our modern time. And I got this information from juststand.org. I put hyperlinks in this PowerPoint, and I'll make this PowerPoint available to anybody who wants it. So if you're interested in getting this to have access to the additional information, such as this, we're going to have technical difficulties. Hopefully this works. Yeah, so here, this is a great resource for information on the benefits of getting up and moving. So this will be available for anybody who wants the PowerPoint. But some of the information that you'll find in here, 12 hours is the amount of time the average person spends sitting on a daily basis. This is actually the fourth leading risk factor for global mortality, which is physical inactivity. And 3.2 million deaths a year are related to physical inactivity. Let's get back to this. Even more to the point, this is a warning from the World Health Organization. According to the WHO, 60 to 85% of people in the world lead sedentary lifestyles, making it one of the more serious yet insufficiently addressed public health problems of our time. It is estimated that nearly 2/3 of children are also insufficiently active, with serious implications for their future health. Sedentary lifestyles increase all causes of mortality, double the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity, and increase the risks of colon cancer, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, lipid disorders, depression, anxiety, the list goes on. Physical inactivity, along with increasing tobacco use and poor diet and nutrition, are increasingly becoming part of today's lifestyle, leading to the rapid rise of diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, all those that we just rattled off. Chronic diseases caused by these risk factors are now the leading causes of death in nearly every part of the world. So that's why we kind of wanted to discuss some of the risks of sitting and how to address those. Again, we just went over a lot of these, the risks of sitting: diabetes, heart disease, cancer, anxiety, bone density. I put links to CDC articles in here. So if you're not as familiar with what diabetes is or how devastating the effects are, you can click here and learn more about the diabetes and the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Just while we're here, some fast facts about diabetes. More than 34 million people in the United States have diabetes, and 1 in 4 of them don't even know they have it. More than 88 million US adults, 1 in 3, have pre-diabetes, and 90% of those don't know they have it. Pre-diabetes is a risk factor for type 2 diabetes. Being overweight being ages 45 and older, and being physically active less than 3 times a week are risk factors for pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes. There's a ton of helpful information on this website and in this PowerPoint specifically. So again, if you want access to these, just reach out and I'll get it to you. So where are some of the places that we sit down? Obviously, while we're at work, we sit at our desks. We sit on our commutes to and from work. We sit when we get home in the evening. Anybody else think of any other places that we, sit down on a daily basis?
Around a campfire.
Around a campfire, yeah, it's a perfect time of year. It gives us a chance to get up and out, but we're still probably planting our butts in a seat somewhere.
In meetings.
Meetings, yeah, absolutely. And that's exacerbated by the fact that Zoom plays a big role in our lives now, where we're probably having even more meetings than we typically had before, because we have access to technologies that we didn't have previously. So yeah, the moral of the story is we spend a big chunk of our day in a chair, at a desk, sitting down somewhere, and it's not doing us a bit of good. How can we combat that? With Deskersizing. What is it? It's a way to get active while at work without having to change or get sweaty or take too much time away from our actual desk. It's a way to break the monotony of sitting down by just trying to get a little bit of movement in our day-to-day lives. What will it do for me? It will increase our productivity. It'll keep our joints and muscles loose to help us prevent injuries that we may encounter otherwise. Believe it or not, getting up and moving actually increases our energy. It decreases the negative effects of sitting, all those things that we just spoke about right before this. And it actually lengthens our life. So the more we can get up and moving, the better off we are. I'm gonna go over a few things that you can try here or at your desk if you're sitting there watching this. But before doing that, we always like to put a disclaimer up to, obviously get in contact with our doctor before starting any new workout programs. And remember to make any modifications to any of these exercises that I'm about to show you, because just something that works for me might not work for you, so you may need to tweak the movements that we were going over. So yeah, let's dive right in. Whenever you think about Deskersizing, you're probably the first thought that pops in your mind is getting up out of your seat and getting moving. But it actually starts at our desk, in our chair. If we don't have an opportunity to get up and moving, we can at the very least sit correctly. I put a couple diagrams up here on how to not sit like this guy who's all hunched over and his back and neck are probably hurting at the end of the day with this posture. We want to look more like either this person or this guy over here who's at a standing desk, but we'll get to that later. The idea is that we relax our shoulders. I'm going to try to model this while I'm saying it. We want to relax our shoulders, push our hips as far back in the seat as they'll go. Adjust the height of your desk chair if possible, so that your feet are flat on the ground and your knees are even with or slightly lower than your hips. You kind of want to have almost a 90-degree angle to the way that your legs are. You want to sit close to the keyboard so you're not too far back. You want to pull yourself up. Have your screen as close to eye level as possible. And if you have the opportunity to be like this guy, take advantage of standing desks when at all possible. Standing desks can get expensive, but there's ways that you can make your own. You can get cardboard boxes and just put your monitor on top of it so you can kind of stand while you're doing it. But if you have an opportunity to get an actual standing desk, that's preferable. But okay, now that we know how to sit correctly, let's talk about some of the stretches that we can possibly do to loosen ourselves up or to get ready for some of the activities that I'm going to show you. This is a simple neck stretch. We want to try to keep that sitting posture that we were talking about right before here. Try to sit as comfortably and correctly as possible, and just kind of stretch your neck out. Stretch to the right, go to the left, go forward. You can do circles with your neck. If you're anything like me, you'll hear it popping like popcorn. But yeah, we just want to try to loosen our neck up if we can. When we sit down, our hip flexors can get really tight. So a way that you can stretch that out, it works best if you have a seat with wheels on it, because the idea is that you kind of push your foot back a little bit and you'll feel it stretch here. But even if you don't have that rolly chair, just trying to get your foot up a little bit and feeling that stretch on your hip flexor. You can do, if you're standing up, you can do a hamstring stretch. The idea is that you kind of lean forward with one of your legs. You want to point up to the ceiling with your toes. And whenever you loosen up your hamstrings, it's actually going to help your back out. If your hamstrings are tight, you're probably going to hunch over like that guy that we saw in the no-no picture of sitting correctly and incorrectly. So our hamstrings are stretched out a little bit. We can stretch our lower back by simply crossing our leg. You'll feel almost where your hip flexors are. Feel that little bit of a stretch. That's gonna help loosen up those leg muscles and lower back. You can stretch your upper back by just reaching out, and you'll feel it behind your shoulders and in your back. That's going to make a big difference for those of us who either don't sit correctly at our desks, or we live in a world where we carry our phone around 24/7. Our bodies were not built to be staring at a screen like this all day long. So if you can stretch out your neck and your upper back, that's going to make a big difference in just helping you feel better. I get headaches all the time, and it's probably because I'm either not sitting correctly or I have my phone in my face when I shouldn't. And then just to wrap up the stretches, you could do side stretches like that, just as the girl's showing us. Let's move on to some Deskersize cardio. The idea of this is just to get that heart rate up, if at all possible, during the day. The cardio exercise is any exercise that raises your heart rate. Your heart is a muscle, therefore working it makes it stronger. A stronger cardiovascular system means more capillaries delivering more oxygen to our muscles. This enables our cells to burn fat during both exercise and inactivity. So cardio can actually help us even while we're not moving, if we can get our heart rate to the right levels, and we'll go over that here in a second. But just some easy ways that you can kind of get cardio in during your work day is, if you're in a meeting, you could just walk in place or run in place. That's going to get that heart pumping, get blood to the places that it needs to go. Some people even have one of those under desk bikes. So if you don't want to run in place in front of others, you can still get activity in while you're at your desk in your chair. Some of these you might feel more comfortable doing in a more private setting, but you can do things like jumping jacks while you're waiting for the printer to finish whatever you're working on. Mountain climbers, I wouldn't exactly throw these in, in the middle of a meeting, but this is a great way to get your heart rate going. All you gotta do is just get on the ground like this, like you're in a push-up position, and just climb that mountain, even though you're not really going up a mountain. You'll see that if you do it for even a few seconds, your heart's gonna be going. If you're like me, you'll start sweating immediately. Squats or squat jumps are a great way to increase your heart rate. Simple squat like that, or you can jump up while you're squatting. You want to make sure not to let your knees go past your toes, because if you do that, it puts too much strain on your joints down there. But squats are a great way to increase that cardio. And burpees, this is a more complex movement, but just like our girl in the picture showing, we're gonna start down here, kick our legs out, and then jump up, and then just repeat the process. Again, I wouldn't really do that in front of a ton of people. That's just me personally. I would wait
Do it
for a
in
more
the
private
video.
setting, but yeah, these are all
Somebody
ways
else
to,
can laugh.
yeah. Anyone can do these. Ooh, I need to work on my cardio. All right, so when it comes to cardio, it's all about finding the right intensity for you. There's different ways to find the right intensity. The first one I want to talk about real quick. Bear with me. So again, I have links to these things here for more information. The first thing is the talk test. What is the talk test? The talk test is, a simple way to measure relative intensity. In general, if you're doing moderate intensity, you'll be able to talk, but not sing during your activity. Like me, I just did a couple burpees. I could barely talk right now. So I would fall into the talk test intensity scale because I can talk right now, but I couldn't sing a song because I'm too winded as it is right now. Another way to think of it is at 10 and 2 o'clock, we go on our walk around the building. And we're able to, we use that as our break, and we kind of talk to each other during that time. And the intensity is such that we can have that conversation, but we're not gonna put on a boy band concert while we're doing it, because we just don't have, it would be, the intensity's ramped up a little bit, and we probably wouldn't have the cardio, we wouldn't have the capacity to sing a song while we're doing it. A more specific way of targeting your intensity is looking at your target heart rate. For moderate intensity, your heart rate should be between 64 and 76% of your maximum heart rate. You can estimate your maximum heart rate based on your age. To estimate your maximum age-related heart rate, subtract your age from 220. So for an example, if a 50-year-old person, the estimated maximum age-related heart rate would be calculated as 220 minus 50. So you're left with 170 beats per minute, and you want to be between the correct intensity for a cardiovascular workout is between 64 and 76% of that target heart rate. So that kind of gives you a little bit of guidance as to You know, if I'm trying to increase my cardio at work, I want to be shooting for a certain beats per minute, and this gives us, you can calculate yours fairly easy with that. And here's just a quick chart that I threw in here. What we're looking to do would be between these ranges, 60 to 70. The benefit of working this rate, it improves basic endurance and even fat burning, like we were talking about. So we talked about cardio, things that you can do to get your heart rate up while you're at work. But there's other things that you can do to increase your strength as well. Wall sits are a big thing that we push here at the Resource Center. This was actually taken here at our Dunham facility. We were able to convince all these people to do a wall sit challenge. It's fun when you get a lot of people involved. All a wall sit is, you're gonna get down like you're in a squat position and press yourself up against the wall, and you will be surprised at how quick you start to feel your muscles start to get tired by doing that. And the longer you can do that, the stronger your legs and core and all that will become. Say you're at work and you want to do something to increase your strength, but you don't have a wall to lean up on. You can do simple chair squats. Try to do it, while you're on a Zoom meeting. You can just try to do a handful of these just to get yourself up out of the chair by just planting your butt in the seat and standing back up. Push-ups, everybody knows what a push-up is.
You can show us.
Show us, yeah.
Okay, let's get that heart rate going again.
Absolutely.
When you do a push-up, you want to try to keep your body as straight as possible. I'm probably not, because I have bad posture, but the idea is that go down to the floor, push back up. And you don't need to do a ton of them. Just the idea is that if you can do some of these things throughout the day, some activity is better than no activity. And that's really the whole goal of what it is that we're trying to accomplish here, is just to get moving, find different ways to get moving. Yeah. I need to work on my cardio.
It's because you're masked.
Yeah, it's
Seriously, because you're masked.
and my mouth isn't used to running like this. But you're standing around waiting for somebody to deliver, I don't know, something that...
Pizza.
Pizza for lunch.
Exercise, you gotta work it off.
You gotta work it off, but you could
Start before you get it.
start before you get it by doing little lunges to
Make it some more work.
to burn off some of that excitement and to burn off calories that you're gonna be consuming with the pizza. Or we could make a call to a healthy option as well, but it's still good to try to get some activity in. Calf raises, you don't want to look as obvious about your Deskersizing, but while you're standing around, you can do simple little calf raises. You're still moving. You don't look quite as ridiculous as I did when I was doing the burpees, but you're still getting that activity in. And planks. This will teach you just how long a minute actually is. A plank is just this. All you're doing is trying to, you're almost in a push-up position, but you're trying to keep your body as flat as possible, and I can already feel my body starting to shake while I'm trying to hold myself up, and I'm sweating. But yeah, these are all different strength exercises that you can do while you're on the clock. And here's a few more. Less conspicuous Deskersize exercise. Stretching those legs out. You could be under a desk having a meeting and no one even knows that you're, getting a little workout in. All you're doing is just kicking those feet out, and you're getting activity in. I threw desk dips in here, but these you want to really be careful. You don't want to do these on any sort of unstable surface.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't even want to model these, but the idea is that you hold yourself up on something that's stable, drop yourself down, and then push yourself back up with your arms. I don't want to knock anything off this table. Shoulder shrugs. This will help loosen up your neck from staring at the computer or your phone too much, make your neck muscle stronger, hopefully alleviate headaches that you might be getting if you're anything like me. Just little ways to get movement in during the day. That's all that this is about. No one's around, no one's looking at you while you're doing these. And you can do one of these single leg deadlifts. Or you can grab something with a little bit of weight that's next to you and do your little reverse flies to strengthen your shoulders and back muscles. I was hoping you could use like either books or bottles of water or anything that you can get your hands on, or you can use nothing. It's all about finding what's going to work for you. While we're on the topic of various things that you can pick up, I put some Deskersize equipment that you can pick up for cheap on a budget. Little light dumbbells that you can have at your desk, or resistance bands to make it tougher to do your arm curls. You can replace your chair at your desk with an exercise ball. Help your core and your posture. You can get yourself a yoga mat for pretty cheap and stretch out and not have to be on carpet or whatever surface you have. And the cool thing about these things is these are all prizes that you can actually earn by participating in the STARS Wellness program by doing little things to earn points. And if that's anything that you're interested in learning more about, obviously reach out to Heather Courtney and I, and we would love to tell you how you can, be part of the program and earn prizes such as these. I got some homework for you. I'm going to challenge you to continue to do stretches or activities during your day and in the evening. Perform some of your Deskersize at home while you're watching TV or during your evening routine. Look at this guy. He has the whole family involved, and that's something that you can do. It's a lot of times it's easier to start a new habit when you have somebody going through it with you. So if you could, find a way to convince someone else to do these things with you, it will not only benefit you, it'll benefit them as well. Drink plenty of water throughout the day and into the evening. I'm sweating and I only did this for a couple minutes. I want to, obviously replace whatever fluids I lose during the day. And I also put a link to the myplate.gov, because one of the best things that you can do for yourself is follow nutritional guidelines. And you can, here's an example of what we try to teach during our Prevent Type 2 Diabetes course, is what our plate should look like, what it should be made up of. And again, here's just a link, and it's not going to load up correctly, but the link should work on your computer if you follow these slides. Just for whatever reason, this computer doesn't want to cooperate, but all the information on how to follow those nutritional guidelines for myplate.gov are on that hyperlink that I provided. So in conclusion, get moving. Do anything to get yourself out of the chair, even if it's just for a little bit. Some of these things might look ridiculous, but the idea is just to break the monotony of that chair. Get up and move as much as you possibly can. Interrupt sitting whenever possible, either here at your work or home. You can do things like just a quick lap around the living room or the office. Use your breaks to go on walks during the day. Refill your water bottle as much as possible, especially during the summer. The way it has been this summer, it's been really hot. You want to make sure that you're properly hydrated. Take the steps, skip the elevator. Put yourself in a position where you're as active as you possibly can. Park further away instead of right up against the building. Ride your bike to work. We got at least here and over at MJRC we put new bike racks in, so try to take advantage of those as much as possible. What are some other things that we can do to increase our activity during the day, whether it's here or at home?
I took my garbage can out of my office so I could get up and throw stuff away.
Love it. Love it. Get a few more steps in before you throw anything away. Anything else anyone can think of?
I think actually scheduling time in your day to exercise.
Love it.
10 minutes here, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes at night, actually scheduling that time and not filling that time up with anything.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. Having a game plan. Meeting our goals is a lot easier when we have a plan in place, and that is a perfect segue, thank you Heather, for goal setting. Whenever Heather and I meet with people, we want to encourage SMART goals whenever possible. And SMART goals, it's an acronym. We want to be specific with what we want to accomplish. State what we're going to do and use action words. I'm going to do 15 sit-ups during my next commercial break. Make it measurable. Provide a way to evaluate. Use a metric or data targets. So I know in my head when the commercial starts, I want to get 15 of those sit-ups. Make it achievable. I'm not a runner, so I'm not going to set a goal to run a marathon tomorrow because it's just, for me, it's not achievable. Heather would be able to run it no problem, but she's in the game. I want to make sure it's something that I can achieve because if I don't achieve it, it can be debilitating whenever you set a goal for yourself and not achieve it. So you want to make sure it's something that you can do. Make it relevant. Is this goal that I have, is it compatible with what it is that I'm trying to achieve with my overall goals? And time bound. State when you'll do it, and be specific. And you want to be flexible with our goals. So if we can't get to this thing that we want to work on tomorrow, what about the next day? So make your goals as flexible as possible, but we want to make them SMART above anything. Anyone have any questions? Perfect. Thank you guys for joining us. And again, if you want copies of the PowerPoint, just reach out to me and I'll get those to you. Thanks again.